you how you can apply layer styles to your design. Layer styles are going to give you effects that are going to be adding some visual interest to your project. So what you can do is around the edge you can put a glow around each of your letters, you can put a drop shadow on each of your letters, a beveled edge which makes it look like a dimensional tile. So the first thing we're going to do though, so it will, all the layer styles will be applied to all of the letters, is you're going to merge these layers together. So you're going to click on the first one, and while you hold down the command button, you're going to click on the rest of them. You're going to merge with all of the letters, but not the background. So just select just the letters. Right click anywhere at all, and go to Merge Layers. So now you can see you have a layer 4 which just has the letters. So the next step is we are going to be applying layer styles to these letters. So I'm going to zoom in so I can really see what I'm doing here. So the layer styles, to get to the window or to get to the menu, you double click right here. So here you have your layer styles. You have all the styles listed here, and as you click on each one of them, you're going to get a different menu on the right. These are all the variables that you can change. You can see already that there's some variables that have changed. For example, if you see I clicked on stroke, what it gave me is an outside red outline. So stroke is an outline. So let's start here. If you go on stroke, you can change the size bigger and smaller. If I wanted it to be a different color, I can select a different color, like if I wanted it to be a dark green. It's a nice look. The position you probably want to keep outside, not inside. You'll probably want a little effects to be added to the outside of it, not so much the inside. To make the layer style disappear, you can just uncheck it. So right now I have bevel and emboss, and you can see the effect that it added. So what you have here is a highlighted edge, a shadowed edge, and there are variables that you can change. You have an inner bevel, you have an outer bevel, you have an embossing. It doesn't really look that different, but you can try to just play around with them, see what you can come up with. You do not, however, want this to be too far into your letters to take away from the look of the letters. You want to keep it very subtle. Speaking of subtle, down here you can change the opacity of your shadow. You can change the opacity of your highlights. So again, to keep it much more subtle. There's a lot of other variables that I can go through with you, but that's one of the things there. If you got to jump into the bunny hole and look into it. For example, changing the angle is another one which is kind of cool. But like I said, you can explore as much as you want, but as I said, for the purposes of this project, keep it a little bit simple, and you'll have time to explore it another time. Another one that's kind of pretty cool is the outer glow. The outer glow will do just that. It will give you a glow around the outside. Again, you can change the color of it by clicking here. You can set the gradient here. Drop shadow is another one. Drop shadow does just that. It gives you a shadowy look. It looks as though this paper is coming off the background a bit. There's some space. You can change the distance. You can change the size. The size just makes it kind of look like it's going farther away, where if you bring the size in, it makes the shadow much more defined. So again, you play around with it and see what kind of look you like. Once you like it, once you have something that you want to use, okay, let's say I want to just keep it like that. I'm going to say OK, and now it's locked in. Okay, and you can see that it's applied to each and every one of the letters. The last thing you want to do after you're done with this, you can save this as a PSD, but what's very important is that at some point you want to save it as a JPEG. When you go to Save As, Here's the name of the image. It says PSD. You want to change the format to JPEG, and you'll see that the suffix at the end will change as well. The description. It is now a JPEG. The one thing that it'll do is it'll flatten it out. But you can only use JPEGs to, well, you can only submit JPEGs to Classroom, and you can only submit JPEGs to Artsonia. Any other versions will not be accepted. Okay? So again, put a subtle layer style on it, save it, but then also save it again as a JPEG for submission. All right, good luck.